Terrence Bud Crawford is the fighter of the year for a reason. 3 fights in 2014, 3 significant fights. The first one when he went over to Scotland, when he went over to foreign land and got a decision and won the WBO 135-pound title. Then he fought in one of the biggest and one of the most, I would say, top 3 exciting fights of 2014 against Yuriorkis Gamboa. Then he fought the guy who should have been the 135-pound champion, Ray Beltran, the guy who couldn't do what Terrence Crawford did over in Scotland. I'm T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy live February 25th, 2015. I cover every single major fight live. Terrence Crawford is going to be taking on Tomas Dellorme. There is no venue confirmed yet. It's going to be a split venue with Ruslan Provodnikov versus Lucas Matthysse versus Ruslan Provodnikov on the undercard, and it's looking like there's a chance that this is going to be for that vacated WBO 140-pound title. Now let me talk about this unofficial tournament that I've been talking about in these videos. You got Ruslan Provodnikov and Lucas Matthysse. You got Ruslan Provodnikov, who is the former WBO 140-pound champion. He lost to Chris Algieri in June of 2014. So basically, he's still somewhat owed a shot, at that title. And he's taking on Lucas Matthysse, who is supposed to be the #1 contender. The guy who's supposed to be taking on Chris Algieri or Ruslan Provodnikov. He's taking on Ruslan Provodnikov for the WBO title, meaning Lucas Matthysse is the WBO 140-pound champion. 140-pound #1 contender. But since Terrence Crawford, a former champion, this is the way the WBO works. Since Terrence Crawford, a former champion, former WBO 135-pound champion, since he's moved up to 140 pounds, and Bob Arum worked out something with the WBO and Chris Algieri to whereas if you move up in weight in a, let's say, for example, if Manny Pacquiao, champion of WBO, 147 pounds, if he was to move up to fight Demetrius Andrade for the WBO at 154, he would have to vacate his WBO 147 pound and basically, fight for it again against the #1 contender. It's a crazy situation, but long story short, the 2 guys who are supposed to be fighting for the WBO title is Chris Algieri and Terrence Crawford. Chris Algieri wanted more money, so therefore Terrence Crawford is taking on Tomas Dellorme, who's right there behind Ruslan Provodnikov and Lucas Matthysse. And then the winner of Terrence Crawford versus Tomas Dellorme is going to face either Chris Algieri and or Ruslan Provodnikov or Lucas Matthysse. So either way, with those 5 fighters, I got mixed up. Like I'm saying right there, you're going to get some crazy fights, and you have to ask yourself, out of Terrence Crawford, Lucas Martin Matthysse, Chris Algieri, Tomas Dellorme, and Ruslan Provodnikov, you got to ask yourself, okay, right now, who's got the tougher fight? Now, we know the more exciting fight is Ruslan Provodnikov versus Lucas Matthysse. But when you look at Terrence Crawford versus Tomas Dellorme, now, something about Dellorme is just a little too, I don't want to use the word soft. I'm trying to think of something else. Something's missing from him as the fight goes on. You saw after a while Hank Lundy started bullying him. You saw what Abrego did to him, knocked him down in the 3rd and the 7th round, if I'm correct, before he stopped him. It just seems to be something missing. He even got cracked a couple times against Kareem Mayfield. Even though, remember, he choked him out with that long reach. You gotta go watch the weigh-in on what I'm talking about. He had this long ass arm around his neck, but it's just something. It's just something, in my personal opinion, that's missing from Tomas Dellorme. Now, he's trainer of Robert Garcia, a product of the Robert Garcia gym. He is good. He's flashy, dashy the first 5 rounds or so. But something about later on in the fights gets me. Now, to be perfectly honest with you, I think Terrence Crawford is going to stop him. I'm seeing something like 6th, 7th, 8th round stoppage. I think Terrence Crawford, even though he's moving up to 140 pounds, he's fought there before. He's fought above that, actually. Even though he's fought there before and he's moving up, I feel as though he's going to be the stronger fighter, and I feel as though he's the more skilled fighter. And honestly, I don't think, see, Terrence Crawford is so good is that He can fight right-handed fluidly. He can fight left-handed fluidly. Also, he can be a boxer. He can be a power puncher. He can be a pressure fighter. He can do it all. And you got to watch his fights to understand what I'm saying. I was telling you a long time ago, way before Yuriorkis Gamboa, is that he can fight southpaw. And that means a lot. You know, maybe at the beginning, you're going to get cracked with some right hands, you know, once you fully adjust to the southpaw stance. But after a while, you know, like I would say, not even after a while, he adjusts perfectly to the point where he takes that left-handed style away from you if you're a left-handed fighter. But going against Tomas Dellorme, he's just got too many tools, you know, as they say in the toolbox. He's got a tool shed, you know, so I don't even know if Tomas Dellorme can handle that. But the date is April 18th, 2015. T Street Controversy, T Street Controversy Live, major advancements on the channel. As you can see, I'll be going to either myself or a representative of myself will be going to Ruslan Provodnikov versus Lucas Martin Matisse. And as soon as a venue is announced for Terrence Crawford versus Tomas Dellorme, I may be going, and if not, I may be sending someone to go cover that event. So, you know, I'm T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live. Please subscribe, T Street Controversy on Twitter. Go subscribe to Be Real TV for UK boxing coverage, realcombatmedia.com for boxing, mixed martial arts, jiu-jitsu. Once again, T Street Controversy on Twitter, T Street Controversy on Instagram, T Street Controversy on Facebook. Please subscribe.